I am Luis Alberti, and I play the role of Palomino Cañedo.
And I am Elmer Bäck, and I play the role of Sergej Eisenstein. And the film is Eisenstein in Guanajuato, and it's about the Soviet director Sergej Eisenstein and his time in Mexico in 1931.
You must see it.
Pájaro carpintero siempre vive apasionado y le replicó el jilguero, hombre vive con cuidado, que siendo yo el carbonero, una vieja me ha tiznado.
So, welcome to the Berlinale and to the Teddy Awards too, the queer film prize of this festival. My first question to you, Luis, would be how do you feel Mexico being represented in this film as a Mexican? Is it weird? Is it bizarre a little bit to see kind of all these projections onto this country?
No, I think it's a good thing that it's happening. No, we have many Mexican projects now in the festival. Mm-hmm. So I think it's something to be proud. You know, it means that we are making good things and we are working on being better, and we are now having a place, you know, because we don't have.
You mean a place
in the world? No, on filmmaking, mm-hmm. You know, and it's important because in Mexico we don't have too much culture, you know.
Really?
Well, we do, but I mean the people doesn't really go to the theater or the museum, or the people doesn't really. But some people do, but not all the people. It's not the normal. Mm-hmm. You go to a cinema to see, you know, Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. That's all.
But not like Mexican culture, or people don't see that on the screen so much, the representation of Mexico.
No.
Okay.
No.
But how do you feel it's represented in that film? Do you think it's an interesting perspective, or do you feel like it's a little bit...
I think it's a beautiful perspective. I think it's beautiful because it is very complex, mm-hmm. You know? And I think it's beautiful because it shows the crew, how to say this, crueldad?
My Spanish is not so good.
Yeah. My English is not also. I mean, Mexico is a cruel place. No, it's a hard place, and I think this movie shows it also. But but Peter does it in a beautiful way. Mm-hmm. No, with beautiful images and the mummies and all the context, which is the antagonistic, for the story. So I think it's beautiful. Yesterday I came to the premiere with a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. She's an actress, and she told me after the screening, well, I feel proud of Mexico. You know, and it's like, great. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's good.
Something to be proud of. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your relationship in the film and how you worked on it before starting to shoot. Or did you work on it? Was there some space to experiment and work on that physicality, which plays a major role too?
Well, of course, that was something we started discussing quite early on because we all knew, and that's what Peter also said. Okay, you do this movie, and there's this scene, and I need it, like to be
this.
like this.
Like this.
I need to see this.
Yeah. So of course, when we met each other, I think we started talking about it, together. But
like
of course,
how? Like what did you
what
say?
Are we going to do?
What are we going to do? And talking to Peter, and we had one. I think we rehearsed it one time. No?
Yeah.
We just went through what's going to happen.
Yeah. But was it really technical, or was there some space to imagine and develop the sensuality too?
Well, because we did it, I think it's in one take, no? Like the actual
one take.
And so we actually
I
just
didn't
did
want to do 2 takes.
No. But how much improv? I mean, he said that, okay, it was technical in the sense that he said he needs this, and then this.
Yeah.
And we knew that.
Yeah, it's going to be like this, and I'm going to do like this, and then I do this, and with what's my cue? And it's. What do you think about this? Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly you that has to do the work. So in all the lines and everything. But I mean, in the situations that you had, But of course, there was a thing we discussed, and of course, I think.
Yeah.
But it was we talked
a lot
about that.
Yeah. Yes, a lot because Well, it's important, no? It's about intimacy, and it's about your body, and it's about, you know, your boundaries or not, and it's about your technique also as an actor, no? How do you work? How do you do something like this? And we needed to to get together, to find each other, to make it possible. You know?
So what made you choose to? I mean, you were chosen, I guess, for the role, but like, why were you interested, and why did you?
Well, for me, the simple answer is Peter Greenaway, of course. I mean, when Peter Greenaway calls, I love Peter Greenaway's work from before, so that was the first. And then, of course, it was like when I got the part, it was so beautifully written. So, I mean, it's the best thing ever offered to me. So, I mean, there's so many reasons. There's not one reason. I mean, they're all the reasons. There was not a reason not to do it, I think.
What is it about Eisenstein that fascinates you, or inspires you? No?
Well, for me, the most inspiring thing was the combination that he's so like intelligent and so knowledgeable, and he spoke 5 languages. I think he knew more languages than that. And then at the same time, this is also how Peter wrote him, like, but then sometimes very sensitive and in a way like childlike in a way. And this combination of these two like opposites was the most inspiring thing for me, I think.
But do you think like all these, you know, projections about death and rebirth and life about Mexico, are they true, or is it more like a Western fantasy in a way that your country is, you know, used as to project on?
I think it's in the right place. It is in the right place. I mean, Peter is very intelligent. He's really looking Mexico as it is. I think. No, all this death stuff. He's not putting it there just like a folkloric thing, you know, like no, it's not like that in this movie. You have the mummies, you have, you know, and you know, some scenes in which we are talking about that and explaining the relationship with this tradition, and I think it's quite close to the reality.
So how do you experience it in Mexican? Like, do you follow those traditions, or do you believe in all of that? Like,
I don't.
Rebirth and
I don't. But I like it. I don't. But I liked it. I like it. And when I was a child, I used to. No, because it is beautiful. It's supposed that your dead grandfather, or, you know, the dead people from your family, or your dead friend, or, you know, dead people that you loved, it's supposed that they come the day of the dead. It's supposed that they come to eat with you. So you put an offer with all the things that person liked more, like tequila, mole, you know, tamales, like Mexican food, and cigarettes and everything. You put everything there, and you put these orange flowers, the cempasúchil, because that flower is an ancient flower that it's supposed to kind of open the other dimension.
Dimensions, yeah.
No, so you put a road of flowers, so the dead people can come in this road up to you, and you can talk to them, and you can be with them. So that's why it's a party, because you are happy to be again with your dead mother, or, you know, but it doesn't mean
in contact with them or something.
Yeah, it's kind of, you have them close. And I think Peter explains it quite good.
How would you describe the current situation of sexual diversity and the way you can use choose your sexual preferences in Mexico today?
No, I didn't get it. But
we're talking about homosexuality or queer identities and all these things. How is it being discussed in Mexico today, as a Mexican? Would you say that it's very easy and simple to just choose whoever you want to sleep with, and you know?
No, of course it is not. Of course it is not. I mean, we have gay marriages. It's legal in Mexico, in Mexico City. But for the society, it's still the same as it has been all the history. People more, people less. No? There are some gay guys who were like, I'm gay. Yeah, I know. No, like, yeah. be gay, no? And there are people which is like, I'm gay, fuck. No. It's like that. It's still being like that, no? And in Mexico we have a lot of gays in the closet, married. Like, you know, this is a very, sorry, but this is, I think, a very Mexican situation because the guys get married and then they fuck with young guys, no, but they have kids and I think the question is, what is better? To be honest,
is better?
No? To be honest, or to lie your wife and your children and to have a double life and to be like suffering and hurting yourself and other people? I don't know.
What is better? What do you think is better?
I think it's better to be honest. If you're straight, you're straight. If you're gay, you're gay.
If you like everything, you like everything.
You like everything.
Elmer, how did you approach Eisenstein's sexuality? Did you think about his sexuality or like the way he, you know, like would define it, or was that not too important for you when you were?
Of course, it was very important. Of course, the way it's written also, so it was a deep thing. Well, I approach it in the way that I'm thinking about like sexuality also. If you have it suppressed, I mean, if you cannot live it out, and what kind of pain that creates, and trying to deny that, and how that comes out in the energy and in the kind of, because of course the power of sexuality is so huge. So I was thinking about what does it do to a person if you trying to suppress that. So that was something I thought about a lot, of course. Yeah.
How do you think it shows in the film? Or like what's?
Well, I think it shows in the way that I think there's in the beginning, or at least I think it's more like energetic, more like that it becomes, that you can see a change, at least I hope so, and that's what I was going for, that you can see a change in a humbleness, a more closer to life, that something like, you know, changes in him in that sense. Yeah.
What was the reaction of the audience yesterday? You didn't talk to them, I guess. There's no Q&As, but like, could you feel what was the atmosphere like in the?
Positive, no?
Very.
It felt very good, and
yes, it was. People was happy and laughing.
Yeah,
and we were like fucking and then laughing. And people was happy.
Yeah, but there was a lightness also in the movie. I saw it last night. That was so nice. The center is like warm and a bit funny. So that also made, because of course I also thought that, okay, we have this huge scene. You know, how is people gonna react to that? But then the way it came in, it was light, and it went to yeah, I think it worked very well. And I think Peter knew that, but we weren't maybe sure how it's going to work out. And
Peter,
of course I was...
He knows everything since the very beginning. Yes. And you know when people is applauding just because you applause. And when people is really saying, oh, wow, yeah, you know, and it was a feeling, I think.
I think it was surprising. And also for people also, I think, because it's a little bit different movie from Peter Greenaway also, I think. It's and I think in a nice way, I think.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the festival, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carbonero, una vieja me ha tiznado.
Welcome to the Berlinale and to the Teddy Awards to the queer film press of this festival. My first question to you, Luis, would be, how do you feel Mexico being represented in this film as a Mexican? Is it weird? Is it bizarre a little bit to see like kind of like all these projections onto this country?
No, I think it's a good thing that it's happening. No, we have many Mexican projects now in the festival, so I think it's something to be proud. No, it means that we are making good things and we are working on being better, and we are now having a place, you know, because we don't have.
You mean a place
in the world? No, on filmmaking, you know.
People don't see that on the screen so much, the representation of Mexico.
No.
Okay.
No.
But how do you feel it's represented in that film? Like, do you think it's an interesting perspective, or do you feel like it's a little bit...
I think it's a beautiful perspective. I think it's beautiful because it is very complex, you know? And I think it's beautiful because it shows the crew, how to say this, crueldad?
My Spanish is not so good.
And my English is not also. And it's important because because in Mexico we don't have too much culture, you know.
Really?
Well, we do, but I mean the people doesn't really go to the theater or the museum, or the people doesn't really. But some people do, but not all the people. It's not the normal. You go to a cinema to see, you know, Spider-Man. That's all.
But not like Mexican culture, or like you don't.
I am Luis Alberti, and I play the role of Palomino Cañedo.
And I am Elmer Bäck, and I play the role of Sergej Eisenstein. And the film is Eisenstein in Guanajuato, and it's about the Soviet director Sergej Eisenstein and his time in Mexico in 1931.
You must see it.
Pájaro carpintero siempre vive apasionado y le replicó el jilguero, hombre vive con cuidado, que siendo yo